spoken word artist I'm currently living in London. Before the last 7 months, I lived in Slough. I've been writing for, I don't know, I suppose I've always written. I just never really knew what to call it. Personally, I think spoken word allows us to share our views on a more accessible platform, whether you want to talk about your political agenda or how much you hate your ex. The stage is the place to do that. It allows me to have conversations with people that I wouldn't usually get to have, and presents it in a way that is different. It's easier to digest. This first piece I'm going to do, I wrote 2 years ago. And what I hate and love about it is how much it still applies to me. But the beauty of art is that you're able to focus on your flaws for a moment in a room full of people and flip it full circle. This one's called Esteem. I've never really been that confident. I use my words to hide my flaws, my laughter to pull the dents out of my self-esteem, my smile to let you know what you said didn't get to me when it gets to me. I'm 25 and the women in the magazines still bother me. On a good day I can wear a size 10, but I'm always a 14 in jeans because trying to fit this waist into a pair of Topshop jeans really messes with my esteem. So I tell myself I like the gap at the back, I can store things there. I use my jokes to hide my problems and my problems to hide my insecurities. But they always seem to sneak out when I write poetry. You see, I try so hard to look like Amber Rose, but put no effort in trying to look like me. Maybe one day I'll weigh as much as my self-esteem. Maybe one day I'll be able to handle the love around my stomach. Maybe one day my bingo wings will lift me to a place where I feel comfortable. Maybe one day I'll be able to tell the scales, look, I am done with you. I put on some weight over Christmas and haven't been able to look at myself properly in the mirror since. It's all well and good my mum telling me she doesn't see a difference when the scales say different, so I started counting calories. But my app won't tell me how many calories are in my auntie's mac and cheese, and that's the stuff that bothers me. I wish I could take my clothes off in front of my friends. I wish I could feel confident without a bottle of gin. I wish I could just accept the skin I am in. But I'm constantly bombarded with images that tell me I am not good enough, that I need a 32-inch weave, or that my eyebrows need to be on fleek, or that contour should take about a week. It's funny, because I can recite the whole Miseducation of Lauryn Hill album to you, but none of it appears to have sank in. All I can hear is Nicki and Drake screaming over the rhythm, telling me how I should look in order to fit into public opinion, judging my body on how it fits in a bikini when I live in England, but I guess it's called self-esteem. It's an esteem of myself which I create and know. I don't want to be a size 8, but I would like to reach a happier place. Or maybe it's time to realise that these thighs hold weight, that I'm carrying a generation on these hips and empowerment on these lips. Maybe it's time to accept that these legs will never fit into a European size 10, and this body will bust out anytime it's told it's supposed to fit in. And maybe it's time to not just accept, but learn to love the skin that I am in. I'll get there. Thank you. So I've always written about my own personal experiences. I don't know if I can even begin to write about somebody else's or something that isn't real or true to me. Growing up, I've never really seen anybody that looked like me on TV or in the cinema screens, and when you do, it's never like a positive image. And I think the idea of representation, especially in media, is very important for kids growing up. I don't know if I've ever fully digested that none of the people that I aspired to, or none of the people that inspired my friends, or none of the people that are really poignant people in my life didn't look like me. They didn't look like my mum, they didn't look like my nan, they didn't look like women that I cherished and women that I was proud of and women that motivated me. So I wrote this next piece probably I would like to say in response to that, but probably more accurately, maybe to battle that as well. This is called Black Girl Magic. It's easy to say know your worth when your worth has been so consistently defined. When you aren't judged by the texture of your hair, that roll in your hip, or the way you cut your eyes, when people can say she's angry and you just be angry, and it not associated with any stereotypes. I am not an angry black woman. I'm a black woman and sometimes I get angry. But apparently that's not okay. Constantly being judged by my tone, but not actually what I say. I mean, we're all entitled to our opinions, right? But don't say yours too loud. In fact, could you just Tone it down, there are other people around. I have a telephone voice. A sound I use to disguise the black that's on my skin. Because if I make my tone a little bit softer, make my pitch a little bit higher, maybe I'll disguise some of the melanin I'm drowning in, I am loud. And that's just because I'm trying to be heard. And yes, I do try and have the last word, because you didn't listen to the first. It's like we're not allowed to be passionate or speak with conviction. It's like we're not allowed to be strong. We're not entitled to an opinion. We don't even own our own beauty. Big lips ain't in unless Kylie Jenner has it, and a fat bum ain't the one unless it's Kim Kardashian. Black women were in human zoos up until 1958. Let's put that into context. That could have easily been your mother standing behind that fence being fed food by white dudes that will never understand the gravity behind these legs or the weight these shoulders have held. So yes, you will see me get angry if you ever tell me that I am pretty for a black girl. Why wouldn't I be angry? History has taught us nothing good has ever come from this skin. We are fantasized and fetishized because everybody wants to take a dip in some melanin, but when will we get the respect we deserve? See, we're good enough for your music videos, but we need to be seen and not heard. So this is for my Erykah Badu's, my Lauryn Hills, my Maya Angelou's, my Flowetry sisters, my Harriet Tubmans, my Shonda Rhimes, my black women who are trod on like dirt, but like the dust. They rise. This is for my black girls that know that they are not their hair or any other part of their anatomy. This is for my Carter Kings whose dreams might not be quotable, but left an imprint on our reality. Sarah Reid, rest in peace. That's a black woman in the UK found dead while in police custody, but didn't have enough testosterone to incite a rally. Black girls, you are magic. Black girls, you rock. Black girls, stand. And it's time we start believing that instead of just creating these hashtags. Thank you. I think I use writing to exercise quite a lot of demons. I'm probably not the only person that does it. And it's this whole idea of being able to come on stage and talk about something that we might not discuss usually. And for 3 minutes, you have to intake what I'm saying to you, and it's here faced in front of us, and we have to digest it. And whether it's personal or bigger than me, it is here, and we have to face it, and we have to talk about it. For example, men are 4 times more likely to die via suicide. That's 4 times. That is our brothers, our uncles, our dads, our friends, and it is a hard thing to talk about, but it's obviously something that needs to be discussed. The last piece I'm going to do for you today, I wrote. At first, I think it was more of a reaction to a lot of behaviours that I was seeing in all different types of men that I was coming into contact with, whether that be at work or in the poetry scene or just anywhere. And it seemed like a pattern. And what I think at first was a rant, it turned into an apology. This is called Are You Okay? I've only ever had conversations with your ego. Occasionally, you let me talk to your self-esteem, but keep him locked up on account of just how fragile he can be. You are part man, part every word that has ever broken you. Part hostile, housing dreams that flew but couldn't afford to. You are your father's absence. You hold the heat from the anger of every time you were told big boys don't cry, and now you're infertile, dry. See, nothing ever grows without water to give it life. You speak to be heard, not to listen. You are a walking contradiction. Claim to be woke but slept on your own vision, no spirit. Yet you worship true religions. What you fail to realize is your truth is missing. But I suppose if you think all your strength lies in your fist, you'd do anything to cut them off. When a rope holds more weight than your words do, or a bullet is the nearest to feeling whole you have come across, I am sorry for failing to realize this world is trying to break you too. See, they put you on a pedestal, then kicked it from under you. When 76% of all suicides are men, what does man up really mean? When kill or be killed has become so deep-rooted in your identity that you will turn on yourself. When fights and flights take place at the same time, it seems almost impossible to ask for help, so you man up. But here's where perception is vital, because manning up often looks like man down, so no one knows that man is suicidal. So I will ask you, and your ego, at every given opportunity, if you're okay. Because who knows how many lives those 3 words can save. Thank you.